Thank you, Commissioner, for your reply, and indeed congratulations to the Commission on their work for trying to ensure that Europe remains at the forefront of what you call the third industrial revolution. Now, the high-level group itself dealt with a number of issues, but one of them was this valley of death, in other words, this chasm that separates the creative idea from the marketplace, and indeed it pointed out the fact that Europe often loses its first mover advantage, and it also spoke about a number of roadblocks that are there, for example the absence of a European IP patent and the need to reduce the fragmentation of the regulatory framework already in place. So I suppose my question is, what steps, if any, has the Commission taken to address any of those issues? Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Grazie, onorevole Harkin, per...
Thank you very much, Madam Harkin, for having underlined the work which the Commission is doing, and thank you for having suggested for a greater commitment on the part of the Executive. At the moment, we're waiting for political recommendations, as I say, they'll be forthcoming from the group of experts. This before we finalise the Commission's strategy. Now, in the mid-term working document, the group of experts proposed 3 pillars so as to try to bridge the gap in terms of innovation. And each pillar is a condition which has to be met if we really wish to disseminate these technologies in the EU. First of all, technological research. Europe must develop more competitive technologies up to the prototype phase, where they're protected by patents. And this means that the European Union research programs must be targeted towards that type of technological research to a greater extent. And then the second point has to do with the actual manufacturing of products. We have to try to translate this research into competitive products, which means that we have to rebalance our research programs by using the appropriate demonstration projects. And then the third pillar has to do with global industrial competition. Europe must maintain its advanced level in order to compete on a world level with competitive prices in terms of price and size. This is why the framework conditions for investors must be improved. They have to be encouraged to invest in the EU. So we have to attract investment, but we also have to work in a better way in all our community programs which could favour this sector which is so important. And we have to try to bridge this gap in terms of the gap between research and actual application of that research, which is so apparent in many production sectors in the European Union. So we have to move over to production from research. As I say, this is something which concerns all of industry, which is why I'm in favour, and indeed we support the clusters policies. We have about 2,000 cases. This is where you can bring together research and industry, universities and industry, and innovation to make our industrial system more competitive. So this is the current state of play, Madam Harkin. We will continue to work along these lines, and all the proposals, all the suggestions which will be forthcoming which will be provided by the European Parliament will be carefully examined by the Commission and by myself, and we would be pleased to receive any information which you might have.
No,